Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. So today is part 3 of Snow Kitty, and we're going to go ahead and work on the cat. And I've got my pencils pulled out that I think I want to use, but I also have my what do you call these? My notebook full of pencils, my case, full of pencils, so that I can pull any out that I may need that I didn't think of. So I'm going to pull this towards me a little bit and then move this up, and we'll start here and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna lock the focus there, and so there we go. And hopefully I will remember to pull the paper up as we work our way down. But as I almost always do with my animals, I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to work my way out. So I guess we'll start with the eyes. Yeah, okay. If you haven't done it already, please remember that it is such a humongous help to me if you give this video a like. It makes a world of difference in all of the dumb algorithms that you guys are well aware are a big pain in the butt. But there you go. So please go ahead and do that. And I will start. Let's see, what am I going to start with? I've got, okay, so I have black, which I will need. And then I also have Jasmine, light umber, mineral orange, and Prussian green. And we'll see how that goes. So let's start with some Jasmine. I'll get this all in here. I feel so much better today. Oh, still having, some sinus stuff, but every day, thankfully, is better and better. Okay, let's do Prussian green. And let's see, I need to adjust where my stuff is here real quick. My pencils need to go on the other side of me, I think. Okay, so Prussian green, and that goes right on the edge of the black. And then we'll do some mineral orange. I was just working on one of Anastasia's pages from which book? Amarantine, I think. And I get so frustrated. This is light umber. I love her illustrations so much. She's probably in my top 3 favorite artists. But I'll be honest with you and tell you that I hate the paper that she prints her books on. And it's frustrating because they're, they're in that big square format. And so when I try and scan them or photograph them so that I can print them on my own paper, if I want to use the whole image, then I have to, then the image has to get shrunk down so that instead of being like a 12 by 12, it's only, you know, like an 8.5 by 8.5 or whatever the dimensions turn out to be. And so I keep trying to work in the book so that I can do it full size. But gosh darn it, I hate that paper. It is, you know, I like smooth paper, but that paper is just, I can't get enough layers on it. And every time I try and do skin tone, if it's anything other than a really light skin tone, it just looks blotchy. I just do not have the magic touch. I mean, I've seen some people do work in her books and they're fantastic. And I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's me. It doesn't really matter. It's all just, you know, I just can't, it's just, I struggle so much. So I get really frustrated and then I don't do anything of hers for a while because I just, you know, I can do the animals in her books fine. This particular one that I worked on is black, like a Black Panther, and it came out great. And then when I went to go do everything else, it was just like this big, huge struggle. That is just, it's so frustrating for me. And I saw that she's got she's working on one that isn't released yet that, oh, sorry, this is Light Umber, that is going to be a astrological, astrology signs that just looks like it's going to be fantastic. But I haven't heard anything about it being a PDF book. I'm not sure why she's got one out that's a PDF book that you have to search for on, I can't even remember, I can't even think of what the site is called to try and find it. So I might, I might go ahead and get that because, otherwise I'm just really frustrated. Anyway, that was what I was doing in the non-videoing coloring time that I've had this weekend. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put my my highlights in with my Posca pen here because I always feel like the eyes, if they're getting done first, look really dead before you add that highlight. So we'll get that in there and we can keep going now. All right, so let's do the nose. And then we'll keep going. All right, so a little bit of white, I think, just a touch. I'm almost dotting it in just a little bit. And then I'm going to use henna. I also purchased, no, sorry, my brain is just stopped working and I can't, oh, I hate it when that happens. You just have no idea. Gosh darn it. It's what's worse is when it happens when you're in the middle of telling a story and then you're like, okay, never mind, I can't think of the name of the artist. Neenah Green. I purchased one of her newest ones. And I think that one will be a lot of fun to do. It's nice sometimes to, as much as I love doing my own work, just I can't even tell you how enjoyable it is to create my own pages and do my own stuff. It's also really fun to still do and support some of my other fellow artists, especially since that's how I started. And I just kind of wish that there was time to do color alongs for some of those too, but there's just not enough. There's not enough days of the week. To be, I mean, I'd be filming constantly if I was trying to do my work and do color alongs for the other pages that I do in my spare time. All that I have. Usually I work on other coloring pages when I'm babysitting my grandson. When he's kind of playing happily by himself and doing stuff like that, I can sit at the table in the room that we're in and color then, because I don't have to really concentrate hard on what I'm doing. Okay, so I think I need to pull out, let's see, what is this? This is warm gray, but I think I want French. Here we go. Okay. So, bear with me while I find what I need. Okay. So, let's take some 10% French gray and come in here on his nose. Now, the hairs on the top of the nose, and usually like right under the eyes, are very, very short. So really you can get away with just almost doing dots because the hairs are really short, so the light is only going to catch just little short hairs. And then we've got, let's see, I'm going to kind of block in some areas here. So you're going to see me jumping around a little bit because I just kind of want to get the areas in so I don't accidentally color something else. So these two areas that are around the face, I'm going to go ahead and do these in white because on the tan paper, the white will work best. If you are doing this on white paper, you could probably go ahead and get away with using the 10% French gray. That way you can kind of see what you're doing. Okay, so we've got, and I'm going to use the white right underneath the eye as well. So these hairs, you want to always make sure that you're following the direction that the hair or the fur is going. And you want to try and keep, even though you're trying to go in the direction that the hair is going, just like eyelashes, the hairs generally don't line up perfectly straight like little soldiers. So if you can make kind of flicking motions and layer those little short dashes, they will layer kind of on top of each other and not be perfectly straight. something I can use to show you. Oh, where's a scrap piece of paper when I need it? Well, you probably already know this, but now that I've started searching, I can't help myself. I just have to. So here's one that I was testing to make sure that I was using the colors that I want. So basically what I'm saying is try not to do that, where you're just doing straight lines right next to each other. You want it to be a little bit more organic than that, a little fluffier. So hopefully that will help you. Okay, and that goes for all of the hair, no matter what we're doing. You always kind of want to keep your strokes a little bit looser, but still going in the same direction. I hope that makes sense. All right, so now I'm going to take my back to my 10% French gray, and I'm going to put some little hairs. So these hairs in between the eyes, they kind of come together like this. So with a sharp pencil, we're just going to make some of those marks. And then on this side, we'll go in this direction. Again, twisting your pencil a little bit as you make those marks, helps to loosen up the direction that the pencil is going, and also keep your tip a little bit sharper. Okay, now I'm going to use 70% French gray. And I'm going to start to, so down here on top of the nose again, almost dotting the color in, because the hairs are really, really short. So just little dots is what's going to help make that continue to look like it's really, really short hair. Cooper says hi. Dogs' ears. I don't know. I feel like I've mentioned this before. There are times when he starts barking outside, or barking at something outside, and I look out the window and I see absolutely nothing. There's nothing in front of the house at all. So I'm thinking to myself, what the heck could he possibly be barking at? This is black, by the way. Hopefully you guys could have seen that. And it goes on for a while, and I'm thinking, dumb dog. Well, you know what I mean. I love him to death, so I don't really mean that he's a dumb dog. He's actually a very smart dog. But he will be barking away. And then like 3 minutes later, a person will walk by my window, and I'm not even in the room that he's barking at. So the person hasn't even gotten near the front window yet. But he already knows that there's a person walking their dog, and they're not even in the front of the house yet. They're nowhere near the front of the house, and he can hear them. It's just fascinating to me how good their ears are. It's just crazy. Can't imagine living. Can you imagine your hearing being that good all the time? And I think the same thing with their sense of smell. Like what must it be like to have your sense of smell be so strong like that? I just think that would be terrible. Okay, I think I need 90%. That's not quite dark enough for me in here. So we're going to take the 90% French gray and just darken right in there. I think I'm going to sharpen it just a little bit. I'll get this really sharp, a sharp pencil makes all the difference. Okay, so now this in here, this is pretty dark. Debating on doing the light first. I think I'm going to do the light first. So let's take the 10% French, and that's going to come in here. Little short, just little short hairs. And it's going to go up here. And it's going to go in here. All right, and then we will go ahead and go back to the, I think 9, what do I want to do? Let's go 70. We'll go 70%. And for this, I'm just going to kind of flick in between where I put the white hairs. And we'll do some in here. And then I want to go lighter up in here. But now I'm wondering if I should go even lighter. Let's try, let's try 10% warm. And then 50% French. Okay. I almost feel like I want to pull in something a little bit browner. I'm going to pull out my espresso. So let's put a little bit of espresso in here. That's good. Okay, back to 10% French gray. And got some areas here and here that really need their dark. So this goes right next to that, right above the eye, and over here as well. So I'm just kind of flicking short, flicky strokes and twisting my pencil a little bit as I go. Boy, I'm very talkative today, aren't I? I feel very talkative. That's what happens when you've been sick for a week and then you feel better. Okay, so 90% French gray, we're going to come in here. Okay, that works pretty well. And then back to 10%, and that's going to go all the way kind of in here. And then we've got it coming to start with. In here, it's actually going to go all the way out here. And this one actually is going to go all the way out here too. All right, so we're going to be doing a lot of this. So 10% French, we're going to put that in first. And actually there's an area there that needs some more brown, but we'll come back to that. So just twisting and flicking. So hopefully you could see that if you do that and you just loosen up a little bit and let the hair go where it wants to go as you twist and flick, you get a really soft, fluffy hair. And this is going to come all the way out here. So you always want to make sure that it's going in the direction that the hair is going. I know I'm going to repeat myself that a lot. But you can hopefully see that none of these hairs are parallel to each other. Everything is moving, has a little bit more movement than that. All right, so over here, we're going to do the same thing, only instead of pushing this way, I'm going to be pulling because we're going in this other direction. And again, twisting that pencil helps make those hairs go off in slightly different direction. I'm going to keep going all the way across, and then we have some darker bits to put in here. But let's just get this kind of going. And actually, if we want to, we can still go all the way down. Okay, then we'll do, let's do some 50% French gray. And we're going to do the same exact thing right on top of what we just did. And what generally happens is the white stays and acts as a resist. And then this color kind of fills in the areas that didn't get covered with the white. So you get this two-tone color going to where you see both the French gray and the white in these areas here. And then I want some, let's go with 90% French gray. And this is dark right in here, so we'll flick some dark hairs in. It's a little patch of darker hair. And there's another little patch of darker hair here. All right, before we start continuing down in here, I think I'm going to come up and go into the ears. All right, so I think what I'm going to do first is, excuse me, I think I'm going to put some white hairs in first. So it's almost the same technique, only I'm holding my pencil back even a little bit further so that I can get a little bit longer of a hair. And I'm twisting, but I'm just doing that. Excuse me. Okay. I'm debating on what to do next. All right. Before I go into the pinks, let's go ahead and take some 10% French. And we'll do some little short hairs coming right up this edge here. And we'll do the same over here. Some little short. All right, then we will do some 50% French gray. That's going to come up in here as well. Okay, then we're going to do this 50% still, and we're going to do some little hair tufts at the top of the ears. All right. I'm going to go ahead and, what color do I want to use for this? Let's do 10% warm gray. Right here along this edge. And let's do that over here too. Looking at that here. Okay, so let's do some clay rose. And I'm just going to very lightly, in little circular motions, color this in on the inside of the ear. And if you go lightly, you don't need to press hard. You won't cover up those ear hairs that we put in there. Okay, so let's do that over here. All right, we're going to come in add a little bit of white in here. Okay, and let's come back in with this clay rose still a little bit more. Okay, let's put some what do I want? Let's try debating on how dark to go. Let's start with 50% French. So we've got some soft, loose hairs that are coming out here. Let's do some of this. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to blend, then I'm going to take my 10% French and blend that a little bit. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and still use this 10% French out here. And a little bit of 50. All right, I want some brown. So let's try light umber. And in here. And even some, that's enough, even some henna. Is that what I want? Maybe a little bit. And then we're going to come put some white back on top of everything because I want the hairs on the ear to be a little bit more predominant. The fluffy hair. So I'll add a little bit of all right, let's do some white and add some more hairs. Maybe make some of them a little bit closer together. I think that looks okay. I think that looks okay. Just putting a few darker hairs in here, little shorties. A few in here. All right, let us carry on, I think. Let's come down to the face. Yeah, if I thought that I was going to be able to get the background done, I was mistaken. This is going to be, we're going to be here for the full hour and a half, probably, if not longer. Okay, what do I want? I want something a little, all right, I'm going to use white, but then I think I'm going to pull out some beige and use that to glaze over the top. So the hairs around the nose and the face, again, they're very short and they come out. Oh, I need to get underneath underneath. There's still so much to do. All right, so we're gonna get these in, coming from the nose. All right, let's connect that to what we've got going on underneath the eye. So this is our brightest part right in here, right under the eye. And then under that, I think I'm gonna do, let's do the French gray again, the 10% French. Get a nice sharp tip. We're going to do short little hairs all in here. Short little hairs. We're just going to work one little section at a time. So then we're going to take the 90% French. Come in here and darken this area underneath the eye with short little strokes. Okay, then we want this to be a little bit extra dark. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the, normally, like up until now, I've been doing the light color first and then blending the dark in. Here, I'm going to do the dark color first. Same way that we've been doing it all along, just putting that. And now these hairs are a little bit longer. We start to get longer hair as we start getting away from the center of the face. You don't have to press hard, just light, fluffy strokes. And let's do the same thing on this side. So Then we come in with doing white on top of the dark. It tends to soften and make the hair look fluffy and soft. It's like it blurs it a little bit. Okay. I think I'm going to switch to white. And these hairs around in here kind of go down. And we want to put them in between the whiskers. So just little short hairs in between these dark dots that are the whisker. The whisker holes. Okay, then let's go ahead and do under the face. So these are little short and they kind of go down and spray out. And then we'll come in with some, I think we'll do 70% French. And let's do, I keep grabbing that espresso instead of the 90. Where's 90? Right here. Let's do just a few little dots. And I think I want black right up in here. And if you're really feeling it, you can take your white and come back over a little bit. Okay, let's take the beige. And I'm gonna glaze this a little bit. then maybe put a few more. Probably not necessary. Okay, I want to get the, maybe we'll use some light umber. Let's try that. So I just want to put a little of this brownish color to start with around the whisker holes, and then switch to, I'm almost thinking maybe black. I don't know. I have to think about this for a second. Let's try black. Just really softly. I'm just darkening these. Barely putting any pressure down at all. Okay, so I want to try, before I go any further, I'm going to take my white pencil. Now you can do these, you can do the whiskers with, I wouldn't necessarily recommend a Posca pen because a lot of the times they're going to come out really thick. Although I will say that if you get enough color down before you even consider doing the whiskers, use your Posca pen and then take your slice tool and thin down that line. That will work as well. But I'm going to put some whiskers in here with my white pencil before we start doing the rest of the fur. And with any luck, the color will just completely, resist the areas, and they'll still show up. And whiskers, they do cross over each other. So try not to do just parallel whiskers. Try and get some that are going, in other directions. And we've got some black ones that we'll add at the end too. Hopefully I won't forget. You know what? So I don't forget right now, I'm going to do them right now. Let's do a few black ones, because this kitty does have some mixture of white and black. Okay, so now hopefully as we continue along, those whiskers will still show so that we can so that they're there. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All right, let's get some shaded areas in here under the chin. I'm just putting this in very softly. I'm not necessarily trying to make the color, the separate hairs show. This is just kind of me putting some shading in underneath his chin. I think I want to break out, I think it's time to break out some cool grays now. Is it time? I don't know. Maybe some. I can't decide. We're going to use all of them. We're going to use warm and cool in here both, because I like the way that looks. So yeah, let's do some, this is warm gray 30%. Put some of that in here. And then I'm going to come in with my white. And I'm going to bring those whiskers on top of what I just put down. All right, let us begin. I find this part the easiest part, and I find this part a little bit more difficult. Okay, so I think I'm going to use white. We can always glaze it down if we need to. But let's go ahead and put in some of these long, fluffy tufts of fur. So when you do these long bits of fur, they tend to clump together. Let's see, how do I want to transition this? Let's just soften this a little bit. We can always come back in and layer some more darker colors on top. But this under here is all long hairs. I'm going to just ignore these white whiskers because it's easier and I don't think I have to worry about it. So see how, yeah, we're going to have to come back over the top. The longer hairs tend to kind of clump together. So rather than lots of individual little short hairs, we're having them kind of come together at some points. So just for my own, so that I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to take 50% French, and we're going to blend this area here so that these white hairs don't look like they're sitting on top. We want them to have shadow and a softness there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is put, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in all the white areas, all the lightest areas. Then we'll come in and work the dark in around that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's... let's see, I want to try and do this like the... then we've got some light hairs that are going in here. We've got, I don't know if you can see in this area here, but the fur is actually coming to a point. So it's clumping together. If you're working on white paper, I think you can go ahead and do this. Just use something that's going to show up. Use like a 10% French gray or something that will help you see what you're doing here first. They don't have to, you know, these hairs do not have to be white. 10% French gray is just fine. Hopefully you'll be able to see that on the white paper. Okay, almost there. Then we can start adding in our darks. I think I'm going to switch to 10% French. I can find it. There it is. In here. They're so close. I mean, they're really very similar. All right, let us start. Let me grab some colors here. I'm going to grab 70% French gray, 90% French gray. And I do think I want some, you know, I might not use cools too much. I might stick with the warm gray. Even though I think they're still going to translate cooler than the French grays do. All right, then we need some espresso and some light umber. All right, I'm going to start in this area right here only because I want to make sure that I get this with the espresso. So we have a really dark area right here. And I might go ahead and try and avoid my white whisker right there a little bit. Okay. Let's see what I want to do here. Let's do some espresso up in here. So now we're going to work up into the hair. This is really not much different than when you're doing human hair. You still want those points coming up and breaking up the clumps of hair and just because I feel like it, and this is probably not even on the reference of the original that I did, but I feel like I want to put a little bit of this under here. I like that. Okay, then I want some light umber in here as well. And all right, so let's do, let's try, sorry, I'm having to, want to make sure I'm doing what all right, I pulled out 50% warm gray. I'm going to try this in here. We need a little bit under here. Okay, let's do I'm kind of liking this warm gray. So just curious if I do 70% warm. I kind of like that. All right, I come in and just start refining, adding a little bit more. I think I want some espresso in here. So we'll do that. Espresso. And I think a little bit out here. Okay, let's go back to 70% warm. We're just gonna really softly. So I'm just flicking. I'm just lightly, almost glazing the color in with just little flicks. I want it to be really soft. I don't necessarily want any strong line showing. We're going to come in here in a minute and add some more white. Let's see. Let's just keep adding some more dark in here. that is the people are walking across the front of our house. That's that bark. Okay. All right, I want to do some, let's switch it up and put some cool gray on here. And again, it's almost like I'm just kind of glazing the color on. I'm not trying to make any defined hairs. I just want to put some softness. All right, I want to try some more light colors. So, do I do white? Let's do white down here. So, just whoops. Wow, that was, I don't think that was an issue of pressing too hard. I think that was an issue of, that sucker was going to break no matter what. Okay, I want to put some, so I'm almost, I don't want to say scrubbing, but kind of I am. So that I can get these little lighter white clumps of hair. So this is one of the reasons that I love working on toned paper, is being able to use white as a color and apply it anytime I want to. So I'm adding it over here, and I'm going on top of the dark as well. And it really just softens everything up and makes it look like fluffy fur. And really, we're just kind of going back and forth a little bit here. Going from light to dark and back again. Layering those colors on top of each other so that, sorry, that was 50% warm. So that the hair looks like it's layering on top of each other. So I'm curious if I have enough color down yet. I want to just try doing a little blending and see what that does. We want everything to look real soft. I'm going to try let's see if it'll work. It may not. The colors are pretty light, so yeah, this really isn't doing much. Now, if you're working on white paper, you might really be able to utilize a slice tool and get some really nice effects. I'm just going to keep using my white here for a little bit. Do a little 30% warm again to cover the, basically what I'm wanting to do is hide the area where the white hair starts. We want it to blend in. And I feel like I kind of want this to be a little bit more in shadow right in here. So I'm just going to take some 70% warm. That way we're kind of defining his face, his head from his body a little bit more. I feel pretty good about him. I think I'm just going to throw a few more soft white hairs here. And I think this side is okay. It'll show up better when we get the background in. Let's add a little bit more dark. In here, these are his legs, and I want to make sure that they're separate. They're showing up as being legs. So I think we have to darken this a little bit. This is 90% French, sorry. That's looking a little bit better. This is my Caran d'Ache full blender, which thankfully they did not completely discontinue. They just stopped giving everybody 2 of them in a pack. So now you have to have 1 full blender and 1 pencil blender. I think that was their way of saving money because they put less product in a pencil blender than they do in the full blender. All right, guys, I'm pretty happy with this. I want to see. Now you can use, if you're working on white paper, you can use this. This is a perfect place to use a slice tool to just slice out those whiskers. It works really, really well. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Like I said, you could also use a Posca pen. I'm going to make a couple of these black ones. All right, and I think I'm going to bring this gray a little bit further out. I think that's too much. I don't want to make him look like he's smiling, because that won't be right. That's better. So maybe I will just show you what I mean with that Posca pen, since we're just over an hour and a half. Let me find it. Here we go. So, actually, I mean, if you're really careful, you could get a pretty nice thin line with the pen. But if you were to do something that you didn't like, you can let it dry and then take your slice tool and just come in and thin down or erase completely anything that you got on there that you didn't like. So just by kind of randomly coming in here and scraping, I can thin down quite considerably those white marks that I made and make it look a lot better. So actually, let me just try. Let's see, where would I want it? Let's go here. Actually, that one came out really good. So it actually doesn't hurt to have a few kind of brighter ones. I kind of like that, actually. But again, if you ever do anything that with that Posca pen that's just too thick, it scrapes off really, really nicely with the slice tool. All right, I think I'm just going to add a little bit of brown on this one to the edges, just kind of blending it into the hair. I'm pretty happy with that. In truth, I think he looks pretty good. The only thing I might do as I'm looking here is take, let's see, do I want espresso or really dark? So let's try 90% French gray and just put a few darker bits in here, like at the base. And I think that's it. I think I'm going to call that done. Did I get everything else done the way I want? You know, you can tweak and play forever. At least I can. Just glazing a little bit of espresso right in here. And there's a couple of areas here where I feel like I just want to soften a little bit more. And that's it. I call that done. All right, my friends, thank you for being here with me. This was fun. I enjoyed that. I really do enjoy doing animals quite a bit. So on the next video, we will, let me see if I can zoom away without losing focus. Anyway, on the next one, we'll do the background, and it will be a gray snowy background, and it looks pretty cool when it's all done. We're going to add snow to her hair and the pine, and then she'll be finished. Until I see you then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye-bye.